Be honest with me, what is the real reason why you're single right now?
Other than the fact that the selection of guys where I live is horrible, it is nearly impossible to find anything that's real because no one is who they say they are or who you think they are. And apparently nobody believes in relationships anymore either. So it's all just hooking up, friends with benefits, situationships, or never-ending talking phases.
And this is why you need to close the deal when you are still young and fertile and at the height of your physical attractiveness. You do not wait until you are in your mid-30s or your early 40s to start looking for a partner to settle down with. Because if you're already past the point of no return, right, you're well beyond the age of 30, hey baby, that ship has sailed. Let me tell you that, okay? That ship has sailed. And the older you get, the harder it is going to be to lock down the type of guy that you want. In most cases, I hate to tell you this, you're just going to have to settle. Okay? If you're a female in your late 30s, early 40s, those days of banging the Tyrone, Pookie, Chad, you know, after you're coming home from the club and just going over to their apartments and banging those guys, those days are over. Okay? Those guys, you know, those guys are not going to be coming around anymore. Right? Why? Because they're the 22-year-old versions of you out there now. Right? And that's the reality of it. So the longer you stay out there as a female, the longer you stay out there, the harder it is going to get. Okay? The more difficult it is going to be to find a suitable partner that you can be happy with. Being a dating coach for as long as I have, what I've seen most women do is just settle, right? Just settle for the most decent looking beta provisioner that you can possibly find out there, that you can get along with, that, you know, you can have a decent relationship with. But those, you know, those days of feeling that intense passion and just fire for, you know, these bad boys, these jerks, these a-holes you used to bang, those like, oh, you just couldn't get enough of it. Those days are gone. Okay, those days are gone, and you just have to accept that. You have to accept from this point on, if I want to salvage what's left of my physical attractiveness, I'm just going to find the most decent looking man I can, the one with the best job, right, that can provide, and that will come home at night. Okay, that will actually come home and will be a little bit more reliable, a little bit more responsible, won't be getting fired every week, you know, won't be getting, you know, arrested or put in jail or anything like that. You just have to find yourself a nice, decent guy that you can settle with, you know, and he's not going to be lighting your pilot or anything like that. He's not going to be lighting your fire. You know, you're not going to have this like crazy, like, oh my goodness, can't get enough of him. Oh, I love this. I love the way he just takes me on this emotional roller coaster. No, the beta provisioner can't do that. He can't give you those feelings, girl. That's the reason he's the beta provisioner and he's not the alpha Chad, right? That's the reason this guy is the beta, you know, but you have to appreciate that. And just appreciate the fact that you find one, right? If you can do that, you know. And I've always said these guys are gonna be just a little bit naive, a little bit uninformed, a little bit blind, right? Because any guy who's worth his weight is gonna understand his value. He's not gonna be blind to it. He's not gonna be stupid. I mean, he's not gonna be a sucker. He's not going to trade his SMV to be with somebody who's, you know, his age or older than him at worst. Okay, he's just not going to do it. And that's why that guy's a high value man, because he realizes what he's worth, right? I mean, same with me. I built a successful business. I came from nowhere. I busted my ass to get to where I am. And there is no way that I'm going to settle for somebody who is my age or older than me. Not doing it, man. I'm not doing it because I know my value. And you know what? I'd rather be alone if I choose not to date. I'm not going to settle for somebody who's my age or older. I'm just not going to do it. It sounds hypocritical in some ways, but it's not. It's just, as a man, you realize what your SMV is, you realize what you're worth, and you go for that, right? I dated mostly girls in their late teens and 20s, so that is the trajectory. That is the reality that I'm used to, as with any high value man. So getting back to her rant, she's talking about how she's getting frustrated. And it's a very common rant, right? It's very common to hear these modern women today. We also call them leftover women. No, understand that term, guys. Leftover women, women who are beyond the age of 30, who are still out there, still single. Plenty of these leftover women out there who, unfortunately, for the most part, a lot of them have been sold a lemon by feminism. A lot of them have been sold a bill of goods to believe that, you could stay out there, girl, ride that carousel, and as soon as you get off, you're going to get that Prince Charming. He's going to be waiting for you, girl. He's going to be waiting right there when you step off that carousel to sweep you off your feet. Because that's what happens in Disney movies. One thing a lot of girls don't realize, if you watch every Disney movie out there, look at all of the Disney princesses. Why are they all young and super hot and fertile? Right? You don't see these 50-year-old Disney princesses. Even Disney can't be that blue pill, right? Disney's we push fantasy, but we don't want to push it too far, right? All of their princesses are very young, very beautiful, very hot, and very fertile. And that's Disney, man. That's Disney. That's the most blue pill, company on the planet. And they can't even push that 50-year-old princess shit. They're nope, she's got to be a teenager or she's got to be 20. We can't push these 50-year-old princesses or 40-year-old single moms as princess. No, that's just not reality. People will never buy it. So you're seeing a lot of these leftover women out there because they bought into that ideology that feminism pushes, right? That they could stay out there and you could have the relationship later. Pursue your career first. You could do the relationship later. And it's no, you can't, right? It's worst advice ever. Worst advice ever. You can't do that. You have to take advantage of it while you still can, right? And it's no different than being a professional athlete, right? These professional athletes, when they're young, that's when they're getting all the contracts. That's when they're getting all those endorsement deals. That is when they have, they get all these sponsorships and all that. But fast forward, once that athlete starts to hit their 30s, are those same deals coming in? No. Are they still getting those $100 million contracts? Nope. Right? And then the longer they stay out there, the more they start to wear on their bodies, and then they retire one day, and it's they played too long, and it's sad to see sometimes, right? And you see these guys doing a commercial for a community laundromat, and you're hey, why is this dude doing he was in the Super Bowl, why is he doing a commercial for the laundromat down the street? They're what happened? He didn't invest his money, he didn't cash it in, he didn't do the right thing. So that's why when you're young, you got to take advantage of it, okay? Because the longer you stay out there, the worse it's going to get. I've said this before, dating is not designed for women beyond the age of 30. It's just not. Okay? It's designed for men beyond the age of 30, but it is not designed for women beyond the age of 30. The time where dating is designed for women is before age 30, when you are at your hottest, right? Just to put it bluntly, when you're at your hottest, you're youngest, and you're best looking. Okay, when your body's still very tight, very very fertile, and you still have a lot of that youthful energy. That is when dating is designed to work for you. For guys in their 20s, dating's not really designed to work for you yet. Why? Because you haven't matured yet. Don't really have good jobs in your 20s. And a lot of times you're just struggling to grow up, to move out of your parents' house, to stop playing Xbox all day. Dating's not designed for you yet. When you start to hit your 30s, dating will be designed for you. Because usually that's when guys kick it into gear, right? Guys start to wake up in their 30s. They're shit, I better start moving. Otherwise, I'm going to be this homeless dude. I'm going to be broke. I got to get my shit together. And then the more money you start to make in your 30s, the higher your value goes. Okay, the higher your value goes and the younger women you can start attracting. Why? Because dating is designed to work for you after the age of 30. It doesn't get harder, it gets easier. Because now you're financially secure. Now you know who you are, right? You have more self-awareness. You have more stability in your life. Keyword, stability. You have more stability in your life. And now you can afford to be with a much younger woman, right? And I don't just mean financially, I mean mentally, physically, spiritually, right? You can afford a younger woman because you're a complete person, right? You have all of these things working in your favor. You have life experience, you have finances, you have spirituality, you have self-awareness. You just have so many things working in your favor. And then you notice dating has gotten easier. Right? Whereas for females, the longer you stay single, the worse it's going to get. Okay, the more that your pool of options is going to shrink. The longer you stay single, the more those pool of options are going to shrink more and more. And you're just not going to have the options that you did yesterday or the day before. That's why I tell you, girl, just try to close it up. But a lot of these girls, the mistake they make is they continue to stay single in their 30s because they're yearning. They're yearning for those days back when they were in their 20s, when they had the world at their fingertips, where the world was their oyster and they had all of these high value guys just blowing up their phones and stalking them and showing up at their work, wanting to marry them off and, give them the princess fantasy. They just want that back. And you know what? You can't get that back, right? Those days are over. Those days are done. Right? The best thing you can do is find the best beta provisioner that you can find out there. And, he's going to be a little naive, a little blind, a little uneducated, a little uninformed. He's not going to know any better. And he'll just settle for you, right? And those are the guys that I see settle for these, these older harpies and cougars and jaguars or whatever you want to call them in their 30s and 40s and 50s that are still single. I mean, a lot of these girls too, they have single moms and these beta orbiters still settle for them. It's mind-blowing. But you could get those guys, right? You're never going to have any respect for him. He's not going to light your pilot like the Alpha Chads did in your 20s. You're not going to have those fiery nights of passionate sex with this guy. It's just going to be like, okay. He's home when I come home. He returns my texts on time. He shows up to our dates on time. I don't have to worry about him cheating on me. I mean, you'll have a pretty peaceful, complacent life, right? But the problem is a lot of you girls don't want that complacency. You want that drama. You want to be taken on that emotional roller coaster where you're crying one day, you're happy one day, you're sad the next. You're still acting as if you're in your 20s, and you're not. That ship has sailed. It's time to grow up. Time to find that beta provisioner, that beta orbiter who will just be a little stupid, a little dumb, and will settle for you. Doesn't mean he's a bad man. A lot of these beta provisioners are actually pretty good guys, right? I mean, they're pretty good guys, but you don't want good guy. You want bad guy. You want a dick, right? You want that jerk still. And that mindset is going to keep you single. That mindset is going to keep you out there on the carousel, and it's just going to get worse and worse. You're just going to rack up more bodies, more sexual partners, risk yourself for more STDs, risk yourself having more kids out of wedlock, and now you're really shrinking your dating pool options, okay? Because even the beta orbiters can only take so much. They can only take so much. It's like, you have kids from how many fathers? What? They can only take so much. So, cash it in. Gotta cash in those chips while you're young, girl. Guys, as always, drop your comments below. Let me know what you think about her little rant here. About her still being single and being frustrated that no guys want a relationship after the age of in their 30s, that all they're wanting is hookups. It's like, what do you expect, lady? You're still single in your 30s. What do you expect? And there's a lot of hypocrisy, too, in her rant, because she's really self-projecting. She's really talking about all these games that guys play. Those are the games that she plays. Okay, don't kid yourself. This girl has been playing those games herself, right? She just doesn't want you to play it. She just doesn't want you to play these games. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But make no mistake, I mean, she's out still single by her own hand. She could have cashed it in a long time ago, but she chose not to, right? That's on her. Don't feel bad for her. This is her decision. Right? She's trying to act like most women, they try to act like the victim. Oh, I'm the victim. The system's against me. The system's against me. No, it's not. You just make bad decisions. Okay? You've just made bad decisions. And you got to fess up to them. You got to own it. You got to own it. That way you can fix it. and correct it, and you can move forward. Right? But you can't fix it until you at least admit it. Like women, they don't have no agency at all, guys. They don't want to admit shit. It's like, just admit when you're wrong. Admit when you screwed up. That way you can fix it. But how are you supposed to fix something if you don't think you did anything wrong? If you think it's the system and you want to blame the system versus yourself. Right? Not to mention the fact that she tolerates this behavior from guys. She's like, all they want is hookups. All they want to do is ghost you. And who tolerates this? You do. You are tolerating this behavior from the guys that you date. Make no mistake about it. You are tolerating this behavior, girl. Don't blame these guys for that. It's you who's tolerating that. As always, guys, drop those comments below. Let me know what you think of her rant as well as my own and what she had to say in her little TikTok video here. So drop those comments. I love to see you guys, my comments. I love to read them. And with that said, I'm going to wrap up here. Until next time, this is M from the 33 Secrets. Go ahead and smash that like button below. Do it now. Also, hit the notification bell right next to it so you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on YouTube. More importantly, guys, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Helps me out a ton when you guys subscribe. So please make sure you subscribe to my channel as well. And for all you guys who want to support my work and all of this incredible, amazing red pill, gold pill, and platinum pill content that I am teaching you even further, the best way to do that is by jumping into my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months to Mastery, where I'm teaching guys just like you how to go out there and approach and close the youngest, hottest, and most beautiful looking women on the planet. I am talking about 8s, 9s, and 10s, baby. The hottest women on the planet. Okay, I teach you how to do that in 7 Months of Mastery. And you know what? I have tons, thousands upon thousands of successful students now all around the world. Okay, a lot of these guys often drop comments in my comment section talking about how they're in my program, they've met their dream girl, they've met their future wife. I've had a number of students who've been through my 7 Months of Mastery program already met their wife thanks to my teachings, right? They met a high value, high caliber, hot wife, right? Way above what they were able to get previously before they jumped into my program, 7 Months of Mastery. They were able to get a girl who was much, much more attractive, much hotter, and much higher value thanks to my teachings. And you know what? I want you to become one of them. Even if you don't plan on getting married, find yourself a cool chick, a high value chick, not one of these like low value, like DG single moms or, you know, women who are passive prime or damaged goods or anything like that. I want to teach you how to go out there and get high value women, just like my students are all around the world. You can become one of us. And all you need to do is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds and it's only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lessons. So it's only $1 for the entire first month of high value coaching lessons from me. So take advantage of it. And it's the best way to support my work, guys. And thank you very much if you do. I appreciate it. Thanks in advance. And let's crack on out of here.
Learn to be happy by yourself. Do things that make you happy by yourself before you go looking for love. All right, y'all, so I went to the grocery store and there was just this super hot guy and I got behind him in the line to check out, and I was trying to like do like little things to tell him like, hey, like come up to me, like come say what's up. Didn't work. But guys, what is something that women can do to like let you know like, hey, like can you come say what's up, like can you come over here and talk to me? Like what are some things so next time I know, because I don't want to be too, you know, too much.
A few moments later.
So it's been brought to my attention that men no longer want to come up to women anymore due to sex allegations, women being just so rude and disrespectful, and rejection. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know men didn't want to come up to women anymore. I'm barely finding this out. Why do women choose to cuss guys out when they come up to them and approach them? I have no idea. I apologize for that. But there's just too many fine men. And if it takes me, the women, having to come up to you guys and shooting my shot, saying what's up, being the big stepper, then I'll just have to do that. And I'm going to just start coming up to you guys and shooting out compliments and see where it takes me. So if I start coming up to y'all in the grocery store and I say, excuse me, sir, you are just so sexy, I want a response. Okay, I don't want none of that shy stuff.
Times are going to get really tough for a lot of women, and I'm going to explain why in this video. Now, first and foremost, she says, and I quote, learn to be by yourself before you go looking for love. We all know that women can't go without male attention. They cannot be alone. When women go through breakups and everything, they don't focus on themselves. They just hop to the next guy, the next pipe, the next dude, the next Tyrone, the next Chad. See, that type of woman, she wants a top tier guy to approach her. The guys that are in the top 15 to 20%, the really good looking guys. Because notice she says in the grocery store, the guy was fine. You know, he was really attractive. He was really good looking. He wasn't this like everyday guy that, you know, probably doesn't get that many offers from women. So these women, imagine this. They want guys who are good looking, who have options. They want those guys to just magically shoot their shot, to just notice them. Ladies, what makes you so special that you deserve a guy's attention? Just because you bat your eye, just because you look at them for 2 seconds. I've had women look at me for a couple seconds and they turn their head, or they like look at me from the side of their eye, like that's almost their choosing signal, right? This is not the 1930s or 40s where you drop a handkerchief and the guy picks it up and says, "Oh, here, you dropped something," and you guys start a conversation. Ladies, you're gonna have to put forth effort. Yes, you're gonna have to be aggressive. Being passive aggressive and doing certain things and trying to get a guy's attention in the store or wherever because you think that's going to get a guy to approach you. No, you're going to have to put the pedal to the metal and make things happen. Because if you don't, you're going to be alone. This is what's going to happen. You're going to have to say hi. She's wondering, so what can I do to get this guy's attention to approach me? Just think about that. I want you guys to think about something. And it just blows my mind, to be honest with you. Imagine you as a man looking at a woman, finding her attractive, finding her sexy, very good looking, and you look at her and you get mad and frustrated because that woman doesn't talk to you, because that woman doesn't approach you and say, "Hi, my name is," and doesn't introduce herself. Just think about that. That's entitlement. That's delusion. For wanting a certain person to come talk to you and approach you and introduce themselves and shoot their shot just because you exist, just because you look at them and bat your eyelashes and maybe show your chest off. And no. See, here's the thing, ladies. Most guys aren't willing to take rejection over and over and over again. Okay, men need some wins. So if you want guys to start interacting with you out and about in public, yes, you're going to have to start shooting your shot. If you think, oh, that's beneath me, I'm too good to approach a man. You too good to approach a man, but you want a boyfriend, you want a husband, you want a long-term companion, but you think that you're far too good to shoot your shot at someone you like, to tap him on the shoulder and say, "Hey, how's it going? I noticed you over there. My name is." That's easy. Can I guarantee you the vast majority of guys will be like, "Oh man, wait a minute, is this a prank? What's going on? Hi, what?" They'll be happy. You'll make their day. But here's the thing, ladies, you're so used to being entitled and everything coming to you easy that you feel as though, man, approaching a guy, talking to a guy, shoot my shot as a woman, me, I can't do that. But you need a guy's resources. You need a guy's attention. You need a guy's stability. You need his protection. What does he need from you? Sex is not a need. Sex is a want and a desire. You can survive without sex. So ladies, what is it gonna be? Are you gonna continue to sit there and get mad and frustrated and make videos like this because certain guys aren't approaching you? And again, She's not talking about that bottom 80%, the average everyday guy. She's talking about that good-looking, fine, attractive dude that she's like, man, this guy, he looks so good. Okay, what do I do? What do you mean, what do? You say hi, introduce yourself, learn to have a conversation. Guys, I'm be honest, most of these women cannot have a conversation. This is why when you do approach them as a man, they kind of look at you like, they look at you, because most of them are actually extremely insecure. Most of these women, they can't hold a conversation. They have no real personality. They have no charisma. And this is why most of them play passive aggressive games, because they're not willing to do the work, and they're counting on us men to do all the work, to approach, to say the right things, to have the confidence, to have the charisma, to have the swag, to get the contact information, to set the date, to entertain her on the date, to do this on the date, to make the first move. They're counting on us to do everything because they're lazy creatures. And now it's coming back, and it's biting them because they're getting older. I can look at that woman and look like she's about late 20s, maybe even 30s, to be honest with you. She's getting there. This is why, guys, that epiphany phase, I talked about it in previous videos, where she's 28, 30, approaching that wall, or either at the wall, and now she's like, man, how can I get a guy to approach me? I want attractive guys. Well, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna die alone? Are you gonna sit there frustrated? Because all that time it took her to make those videos about guys approaching her and learning how to love yourself, you could have been out there shooting your shot at guys. You have to do something. You can't, look, ladies, you can't just look at a guy for 3 seconds or even 2 seconds and then turn your head and expect him to approach you. Most guys, I'm gonna be honest, they're not picking up on that choosing signal. They're looking like, oh, okay, she looked at me, okay, now, all right. Because I'm gonna be honest, most dudes have shot their shot at women before. I said this before, a lot of guys aren't built for rejection countless times. That's actually not really productive and not really that good for most men's self-esteem, because they can't handle like that. So they shoot their shot at 2-3 women, maybe in 2 to 3 years or a year or so. And now they're like, you know what? It didn't work out, because they don't necessarily have a track record of getting success and having positive interactions with women. So yeah, men are actually getting fed up. Most men, even attractive men, they're like, I'm not going out of my way to approach women. Heck, there's been times where, you know, as a man, you look far better than that woman that you're approaching. You just know you're more in shape. You're a better top tier guy than the female that you're approaching. And then she still rejects you. And you're like, this chick is like average looking, like even sometimes below average. You're like, how can she reject me? This is how men feel. So welcome to the world of being a man, where you actually have to do some work, where we have the burden of performance. We have to put in effort if we want things to happen in life. So ladies, you're gonna have to do the same thing. If you want something in life, you can't sit around and be lazy, be passive aggressive, and wait on a man to shoot his shot all the time and approach you. And it's the thing, most of these chicks, they just want attention anyway. So if you happen to do approach them, they'll be like, you know, and they turn you down and reject you, or they play silly games because they just want validation. See, we don't derive off validation and stringing women along and people along and playing games. We're direct, we're straightforward and forthcoming. We're honest. See, ladies, you're not honest. You lack good morals, matter of fact. So when you do approach a guy, we actually know, oh, damn, this is genuine, because she's making an effort. See, ladies, you're not used to making an effort for men. You want a guy to do everything because you think you're quote unquote attractive, because you put lip gloss on, look like she does. I mean, she just slapped it on there, because you think that I deserve a guy to approach me. It's beneath me to approach a guy that I like. So you think you're better than him? What makes you think you're better than him? I'm asking you that, ladies. What? Because you're born a woman? What makes you think that? So why don't you shoot your shot? Why don't you say something? Looking at a guy for 2 to 3 seconds, or just going around him and acting like you're shopping. Because I have women do that to me a lot. They shoot their shot in the grocery store. This is how they do it. They act like they're shopping for something, or they'll wait behind you. It's wait till you move to act like they're looking for something. Or they'll follow you. You'll be in one aisle aisle A, then they'll go to aisle C with you. Like, oh, I just saw that girl. They'll go to aisle D. They'll have no sort of game, no sort of mouthpiece, no way to really talk to men and get our attention. So what they do is they just kind of orbit us and they expect us to say, hey, how's it going? And oftentimes when you do, I'm gonna be honest, 99 times out of 100, when you say, hey, what's up? And you think that she's give you a choosing signal, what'll happen is she'll be like, oh, I'm good, I'm fine. So ladies, what it'll be, are you gonna approach? Are you gonna talk? Are you gonna do something? Because if not, you're gonna be alone. You're gonna be frustrated.